Hey, how's it going? Hans Schaff here with GoTinyBeFree, and I'm here at the Cottages at Pine Lake. You can see there's a tiny house there in phase 2 on the water, and I'm coming to you today from a new angle, but I got a really exciting announcement I want to share with you, probably the biggest announcement we've had since we've launched this property about 9 months ago or so. That's going to help the most number of people to go tiny and be free, particularly here on this property. So stay tuned for that. But before I get into that and the new announcement and all the exciting things that we have to offer here today, let's stop and review and go back in time 9 months ago when we first had this property and we first started this project, what it looked like, and to kind of see how far we've come. Recall when we first showed this property, what it looked like. It was completely overgrown, very green, lots of trees, lots of shrubs, lots of weeds, lots of growth everywhere. In fact, so green, so many shrubs and trees, you could not see that there was even a lake here. So one of the first things we had to do was to start cleaning up the property and see what we've got here. So we came through, removed all the overgrowth, removed all of the stuff inside the lake basin, pulled all that out. Pulled all that out, and then we were able to discover how beautiful this property really was. From there, our little puddle in the southwest corner of the lake basin started to fill. We rediverted the natural spring back into the lake to start feeding it again. We had some rains come in as well to kind of help, and as you can see behind me, we now have a lake that's risen quite a bit more. We still want to get to the bottom of those rocks. We still have a little ways to go, but the good news is it's continuing to rise with every rainstorm. So we're getting closer and closer, and the lake is just turning out beautiful. Here's to give you an idea of what phase 2 lots on the east side of the lake will look like as far as how much space there is. Hope this helps. Plenty of space here for parking, for one vehicle next to it. Room for a little deck. automatic opener. Cottage of Pine Lake. Welcome home. So that's how we got here. We started with the vision of what we wanted this property to become. This beautiful property outside one of the top growing cities in the country for lots of reasons. It's the #2 list. It's #2 on the list for most affordable city in the entire country. That just came out a few days ago. And it's also got the best airport, best small airport in the country as well, with the Huntsville International Airport. Beautiful airport. You can kind of get in and out of there real fast. So we got a lot of great things going on here. A lot of growth happening as well inside the city. But the great news is we are between Huntsville and Scottsboro, about 15 minutes out of the city limits. So the nice thing about that is, we don't have all the traffic, we don't have all the noise, we don't have all the things that are going on. We're kind of right out here, just kind of next to some agricultural land. We've got a bunch of forest land here behind us, and as you've kind of seen in some drone footage, we've got a lot of little foothills and trees and everything right around us. So it's a beautiful piece of property right here. You've now seen this vision come to reality in a mere 6 months from the day that we launched this property. We had the first residence tiny home received on this property end of April, and she moved in just a few days later after that. Mary, you've seen that prior video that we did with her, the tour of her house, the Q&A that we had with her as well. And consequently after that, we had 2 more houses arrive that were completed, 2 other residents. We now have 3 residents living here on site, with the others in phase 1 coming shortly thereafter, just waiting on their homes to be completed and for them to be delivered here on site. And then we'll be moving on to phase 2. Phase 2 infrastructure is underway. We are almost completed with that. And my big announcement that I want to share with you today that you've been waiting for, we've had this idea for a while now, but it didn't make sense to make this announcement until we were further along in phase 2. And now that we're wrapping up phase 2 development right now and going to be shortly accepting and receiving and having lots available that people can actually start living on phase 2, we want to go ahead and now announce we are opening up this tiny house community to other builders. Yes, I know a lot of you have been asking, especially in the last few weeks and months, but since we launched this program, there's been so many people who reached out to me and said, hey, I've already got a tiny house and I need somewhere to put it. I'd love to move on your property. But we are now opening this up to make this available to more people, because we still have a good 30 lots that are available here between phases, rest of phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. So we want to go ahead now and open this up to other tiny houses, other builders as well, to allow you the freedom to choose your own builder, to choose your own tiny house. And this way we can help a whole lot more people to go tiny and start living tiny and living the real American dream. So as we transition into this process into opening up, there's going to be a slightly different process as well. There's still going to be a vetting process, but now we're going to vet the homes as well a little bit, because we want to make sure that your home is certified, we want to make sure that it's safe and all that kind of thing. We're not just going to accept any tiny home that just comes from anywhere, that has no history or background and could just be some shed thrown together with wheels thrown on it. That's not going to work. They've got to be high quality, they've got to be reputable, and they've got to be good looking tiny houses to fit with our community and our theme here. Again, we want to make sure that we maintain high quality here on this property, because people are living here potentially for the rest of their lives. I mean, this is a forever destination. It's a tiny house resort. In fact, I want to share with you a little bit about that too, the vision, because I don't think a lot of people really fully understand what this is. This isn't just a place, this is not some RV park. This is not just some place to park your tiny house. We're developing this property as a tiny home retirement resort, okay? So not only is it a great place for you to bring your tiny house, but you're going to have neighbors, you're going to have amenities, you're going to have features that are going to basically enrich your life. We want you to be able to live your best life here on this property. At the Cottages of Pine Lake, we're really going above and beyond. That's why you see all these different amenities that we're offering, from the hot tubs, to the gym, to the community center, to the stores we're going to have on site, to the studio facilities, to the dog park, to the lake and the lake access and the docks. There's so many things that we're adding and including into this community, because we really want people to love it here. We don't want you to ever leave. We want you to enjoy your neighbors. We want you to enjoy the space, the trees, the lake, just the beauty of this surrounding area. You can see the foothills there behind me. And if it wasn't a cloudy day, you'd be able to see a nice sunset there on the west behind me as well. There's just so many great things that go on here with this property, and that's why we really want you to understand what you're really getting with this property. You're really buying into my vision. You're buying into the community here, And it's going to be your community. It's going to be the residents who are going to run this community. We're going to provide the facilities, provide the amenities, and provide the resources for you to kind of live your best life. But it's up to you to kind of take that and then form it and shape it and live it every single day, whether it's out fishing or hiking or swimming or socializing, game night, socializing, playing bridge, watching movies, all these different things that we're going to have here on site for you to be able to enjoy with your neighbors and with yourself, to have that peace and quiet, to kind of walk around our walking trail, to go to the dog park, all these different things you'll be able to do here. And then, of course, off-site, you've got the Cathedral Caverns, you've got Guntersville, you've got Huntsville, Scottsboro, so many great things within a short drive as well. And if you need anything, Dollar General is just around the corner. So I'm going to touch on some more about how this community works here in a minute as well. So hang on for that. So if you're new here, this is the first time you've seen one of our videos, you might be asking, well, what exactly is the Cottages at Pine Lake Tiny House Community? How does it work? So for those of you who are new here, let me go ahead and just kind of do a recap of how this property, what it is and how it works, so you can kind of get all your questions answered right here, not have to ask questions in the comments, hopefully. If you do have questions, make sure to watch this entire video first before you start going in the comments and asking questions, because I'm going to try to answer a lot of those questions ahead of time. Just go ahead and listen right here. So this property used to be an old petting zoo. Back probably 10, 15 years ago, a lot of people from Huntsville would come here with their kids and field trips and stuff and come see all the animals. And it was a pretty neat little place, I hear. I never had a chance to come out here. I didn't know about it. The owner died, and basically the wife wasn't able to take care of it, so she left and went to Texas. And this property's kind of been abandoned for about 10 years or so. The locals have all been here kind of fishing out the lake. But the stream was, there's a natural spring on this property. It got diverted, so that the lake actually got smaller and smaller and smaller until it was just basically a puddle last fall when we came through here, which actually worked for us because we could come out here and just kind of clear it all out. It wasn't a lake where we couldn't get equipment into the lake bed. So it actually kind of worked out perfect. It was probably the lowest it's ever been. And we went in there, cleared the whole thing out. And again, you've probably seen that footage in the beginning of this video, what the property looked like when we first got it. So what is it? This property is about 7 acres, which has this 2-acre lake behind me on it. This lake right now is probably about 6-7 feet deep. And we hope, as you can kind of see where those rocks are there, that the lake level will rise another 4 or 5 feet. So we're looking for about a 10 to 15 foot deep end of this lake, so to speak. So we're going to stock it with fish, so you can go fishing off the dock, which will be right there as well. A little floating dock hanging off that rip-rap rock wall. And you'll be able to do water sports, paddle boarding. You'll be able to go canoeing. You'll be able to go kayaking and, paddle boating, that kind of thing. Go swimming if you want, go fishing, like I say. So all these great things you'll be able to do in this lake. In addition to the lake, we also have a dog park, which basically, again, there's some infrastructure here that was still here from when it was a petting zoo. And there's a big pen back there in the southwest corner that we're going to basically turn around and use as a dog park. It's a gated in area. It's be a real nice place to kind of throw the ball for the dog or have them jumping over different things or whatever and just socialize and be able to run around with our dogs out there. So you got the dog parks, you got the lake. We're going to have hot tubs. We're going to have a small gym inside the community center over here. We're going to have a dry sauna. We're going to have like a little office type, maybe spot to sit and drink your coffee or to go on your laptop, send some emails out, do your taxes, whatever you want to do. Just kind of a shared space, kind of like a coffee shop. Maybe it's like a coffee machine where you kind of go there in the morning and just kind of hang out with some of the residents. We're going to have a laundromat. It's going to have commercial washers and dryers, so you can do your laundry there, big loads and that kind of thing. It'll be coin operated, but it's going to be real cheap. It's got to be something just to kind of, pay for the utilities and all like that. And then the larger community center behind all that is going to have a big enough space for about 50 people, so we can get the entire community together in one spot. And not everyone's going to always show up, of course, for game night or for a social hour or for, bingo or church services or, whatever things people want to do with that space is here for the community. So you can kind of reserve it for your function. You can invite all the residents, or you can just, you and a few friends or whatever here on the property. And you'll be able to use that space. It's going to have a big projector screen on there, so you can watch movies, you can watch games, you can watch televised functions as well, or movies. We're also going to have outdoor grilling spaces where you can do some grilling. We're going to have fire pits. In fact, there's one great big spot in the middle of the property. It's a little grassy area where we're going to have some benches set aside. We're going to have a nice little fire pit in the middle. And we got tons of firewood here, being in the forest. So we've got a bunch of firewood that's ready to burn that residents can pick up and use and have a bonfire every night if you want. Also, residents will get access to our on-site dumpsters that get emptied once a week. So you just basically, bundle up your trash and throw it in the dumpster, and it takes it away for you every single week. You don't have to worry about taking your garbage off-site. There's going to be dumping services on-site for garbage. We've also going to have Wi-Fi, property-wide Wi-Fi. We've got fiber internet access that we provided property-wide to all 7 acres. So you can just basically pull up your device wherever you're out on the property, whether it's your iPad, your iPhone, or your laptop, be able to stream videos, stream movies, download, upload video, take pictures, all that kind of stuff, social media stuff, all that. So that just gives you an idea of some of the amenities and some of the features that we're going to be adding here on the property. So go to GoTinyCottages.com to get full details for a list of all the amenities that we're going to be including with this property that comes with your lot rent. And let's talk about the rent situation. So how does it work? How do you get access to this property? How do you become a resident here? You already have residents living in phase 1, and right now we are offering phase 2 lake lots. So in order to provide all the different amenities and features and benefits that this property comes with, I also didn't talk about the security gates, the security cameras, and the security lighting. I didn't talk about the storage space that we're going to be adding in the front, or the pickleball court, or the additional studio space that we're going to have at the front of the property to do farmers markets and to do little studio spaces for yoga or for little classes. Again, there's a host of other things. Go to GoTinyCottages.com for all the details. But there's a lot of things that we're putting into place here, and all that stuff costs money. So the way that we're doing this, rather than charging $1,000 per month in lot rent to kind of equate for how much it would cost us to develop all this on our own, we're actually partnering with you, our residents, in order to put this infrastructure in the ground and then turning around and be able to provide you with steeply discounted lot rent going forward. So this is what we call key money. So basically, a phase 1 lot is $10,000. A phase 2 lot is $15,000. And what that buys you is $300 a month lot rent, not $900 or $1,000, but $300 a month. And that's not just for a year or 2 years, but that's going forward. We only anticipate raising rent in order to cover the cost of increases of our expenses. So if the internet goes up, if our insurance goes up, if landscaping goes up, if these kind of costs go up, I mean, divided by 54 homes, and you're talking pennies and fractions of a penny. So it's not a whole lot, but over time, that's how the rent would go up. It's not that we're just going to raise it $50 or $100, something like that. We're talking maybe a few dollars, every couple of years, something like that. So it's just enough to keep up with the cost of living expenses. Those are the kind of rent increase that you may see. Otherwise, you're looking at $300 per month. The leases are for 12 months period of time. We're not going to lock you into a 3 or 5 year lease, something like that. So if something changes in your life, you're not stuck with a 2.5 or 4.5 year lease and owe thousands of dollars in back rent because your life situation changed. Things change, things happen. So we're only putting together a 1 year lease, and you can renew your lease every single year. All right, so let's review. Again, phase 1 lots, these were the kind of the early bird special phase 1 lots. They're a little bit closer together. They're off the lake. They're in the forest. Really nice lots, just a little bit closer together. And because of those early bird specials, they were able to get those lots for $10,000. Now, phase 2 lots on the lake, they're a little bit wider. They're not as deep because you've got the lake in your backyard. This incredible view behind me. That's what you're going to have. This lake is like I said, 2-acre lake, and it's about 400 feet by 600 feet, kind of give you an idea. So it's a pretty good distance. I've had my John boat out there on the lake and kind of, motoring around a little bit, and it's a beautiful lake. It's just so nice and so quiet down there on the water, and it's pretty big. I mean, it takes you a while to kind of get all the way around. So it's a good-sized lake, great views. Like I said, you can kind of see that from behind. But anyway, $10,000 for phase 1, $15,000 for phase 2, and again, what you're getting is $300 per month lot rent. Now let's talk about utilities. Utilities are individually billed and metered every single month. So for your water, your power, and your sewer, whatever usage is, you'll get a bill every month. And when you get that bill, and then about a week or two later, you just pay that bill for your utilities that you used with your lot rent at the beginning of every single month. So, like for example, today is June 1st. Your lot rent and your utilities would be due today. You're going to get a breakdown of your utilities by service, broken down on your usage, emailed to you automatically every single month about the middle of the month or so. And then, like I say, the very first of the month, your utilities will be due along with your $300 per month lot rent. So that's how utilities work. Again, water, sewer, and power. Your trash is included with your lot rent of $300 per month. Your internet is included for $300 per month. If you wanted to get a hard line dropped into your home, that'll be an additional fee for us to actually, bring that line into your home, just like if you were in a normal house and you had to get the internet company to come out and put internet to your house. There'll be a fee for that. Same thing here, because most people are just going to use the Wi-Fi, and that's included with your rent. No additional fee, no additional cost. You just come on the property, we give you the login and password, and there you go. Another thing I want to mention, this is a long-term housing development. So the incentive as well is having that key money up front. We don't want you to be here for a year. If you want to leave after a year, there's nothing holding you to it, you can leave. But the deal gets even better the longer that you're here. So if you're here for 2 years, now that key money can be broken down over 2 years. If you're here for 3 years, that key money can be divided over 3 years. If you're here 4 years, et cetera, et cetera. So the longer you're here, the more that money gets spread out and the better deal you get. And that's what we're trying to incentivize people. We're not trying to encourage people to kind of be here for just a few months and take off and go somewhere else. There's a lot of expense, there's a lot of work to kind of get here and get set up and all that kind of thing. Because when you buy a tiny home and you bring it to this property, we will work with your delivery company to receive your tiny home, block it up, level it, connect utilities to it, and put stairs to your front door. So when you come on the property, you know, within 5 to 10 days later, you can basically walk up, put your key in there, open the door, turn the light on, flush the toilet, you know, and turn the sink on, and all those utilities will be working. You can further customize your home from there, whether you want to add a privacy fence, you want to add a deck, you want to paint it, you want to, you know, trim out some stuff on the inside, whatever you want to do. You'll have all the utilities connected and everything will be working for you to be able to do that. Or you just move in as is. Again, it kind of depends on which tiny home you're buying. And now that we're opening up our community to other tiny home builders as well, you've got a whole lot more options. So I'm sure we're going to start seeing a whole lot more different diversity and design and styles coming through here, which is going to be great. Again, there will be particular requirements as well. It's got to meet certain safety standards. We want to make sure they're all certified, make sure these homes are safe. You know, they're going to catch on fire or fall apart, that kind of thing. We want to make sure they are strong, sturdy, safe homes. But you know, above that, as long as they're good quality, you can bring your tiny home here and get a lot here at the Cottages of Pine Lake. But wait, there's more. So if you're still in the market for a tiny house and you're looking for a more affordable option, and you missed out on that RJO special for a $15,000 tiny house, well, I've got good news for you. I do have my RJO 16-foot tiny house that I'm putting on the market for sale. And it's going to go on a lake lot. So in this particular tiny house on wheels, the RJO that I have, the 16-footer, it's got the bay window, which was a $2,500 upgrade. And I'm going to be putting a mini split in it for you as well. So you're going to have hot air and cool air, have that awesome view, and it's going to extend it 2 more feet out essentially. So it kind of makes it almost into an 18-foot tiny house. Anyway, that RJO that I was kind of using for my office, I really was using it more for storage than anything. Never really got to use it as an office. I'm going to go ahead and put that on the market for sale right now. And basically how it's going to work is it's going to fit on one of these lake lots. So it's going to be a package where it goes together. So for $20,000 for the tiny house, again, it's a $15,000 RJO that comes with a $2,500 bay window and a $2,500 mini split, or $2,700, just call it $2,500. So $20,000, you get the house. Then $15,000 more, you get the lot. So you're looking at $35,000 for a tiny house with the lot on a lake for $300 a month lot rent, okay? So that's a special that I'm offering for you right now. Again, first come, first serve. I've only got one of them. Once that house sells, then I don't have any more of those. So it's just for one person. Go ahead and email me, support@GoTinyBeFree.com. That's support@GoTinyBeFree.com. First person who buys it, boom, you've got it. And the other good news is you don't have to wait for it to be built. It's sitting right here on the property, ready to go. I just got to put a mini split in it. And as soon as phase 2 is completed, which we anticipate being able to start putting homes on the property in phase 2 and connecting all utilities up, probably within a couple weeks' time. So by the middle of June or so, you'll be able to actually move into this tiny house, $35,000 now, and $300 a month going forward, and then your utilities and all. So that's going to be a one-time special. Again, email me, support@GoTinyBeFree.com. You'll be able to move into this RJO, your own tiny house, within just a few weeks period of time. So if that's appealing to you, you don't have a tiny house yet, and you want to live on this property on the lake, that's about the cheapest way you're going to be able to do it. $35,000, including the lake lot, and you'll be able to be on the lake with a tiny house, with that awesome bay window, mini split, ready to go. Then you can go ahead and further decorate it yourself as you see fit. So again, email me, support@GoTinyBeFree.com to get more information on that, or to let me know you're interested in that, and I can let you know how we can go ahead and get that going for you. I'm sure that one will go pretty quick, so don't delay. I know it's a weekend, but go ahead and email me, and first come, first serve. We'll take the responses in the order they come. So the first person who emails me, and as long as they get their funds across right away, that will be who gets that house. All right, next announcement. Now, there's a lot of tiny house builders out there across the country, right? You've got your small builders, you got your big builders, and there's advantages and disadvantages of both, right? Again, we're only allowing tiny homes on this property that are going to be safe, secure, and of quality build, right? And that look nice. We're not just accepting some kind of junky thing kind of put together that you call a tiny house, but it's not what we consider a tiny house. Definition of a tiny house, again, it is a house on wheels for our purposes, and for this property, they have to be on wheels, and it's 400 square feet or less. Again, you can have it like in a credit cottage and an attic cottage. You could have a credit box, attic box, that kind of thing, but you're not going to be able to put 2 of them on there, just one attic box or one attic cottage, because anything more than that, you're going to be over 400 square feet. That's too big for our property, too big for the space, and it's really not even any longer a tiny house. Again, now that we've opened up this community to other tiny house developers and builders, it's a much bigger market, a much bigger pool. So I'm sure over the next few weeks, we're going to be starting to sell these lots and move these lots a lot faster. Again, we've got 17 lots left here on phase 2. So you don't want to delay. Be sure to reach out to me as soon as you can and kind of let me know your intentions, and I can kind of help direct you to kind of help you figure out how you can get one of these lots secured. All right, so for those of you who have not yet purchased a tiny house and you're wanting to become a resident on this property, you just haven't been able to pull the trigger for one reason or another up till now, I want to give you a resource that's going to help you start this process of being able to find the right tiny house for you. There's a website out there called tinyhouselistings.com. You may have heard this one before, you may have seen this one before, but basically it's the largest tiny house marketplace in the world, essentially. They've been around since 2010. They've got over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. They've got a bunch of videos, a bunch of different tiny houses all over the place. And there's a lot of people who use this platform to buy and sell their tiny houses. So it's a great place to start looking for your tiny house. Again, this is just a resource. I'm not necessarily endorsing any of these homes. I'm not familiar with these homes. I don't know much about them. I'm just trying to provide resources for you to start your search so that you can find a tiny house to buy and to bring on this property so you can live here at the Cottages at Pine Lake, on the lake, in this beautiful community we've been talking about here this afternoon. As of the date of this recording, there are 12 tiny houses in inventory available to purchase right now that could be delivered within a week. These houses on this website, tinyhouselistings.com, range in size from 16 foot long to 28 foot long, from $30,000 up to $60,000. That's $60,000. So you've got a pretty good range, different colors, different styles, different layouts, different plans. But again, they're in inventory, so you can actually get this house within the next week or so. You'll have to reach out to the owner of these tiny houses directly. And I believe they also have, I think, 3 different financing options that you might be able to look into. I think one that can finance up to even 23 years out. So again, it's a great place to start your search, to kind of look and find the right tiny house for you. But the biggest benefit is the fact that you've got them available within a week. So you can be living here on the property within a matter of weeks going this route. So again, check it out, tinyhouselistings.com. I'll put a link in the description below. So be sure to look in that description and click on that link to go directly to that site and see the 12 homes they have available in inventory that you can get right now. They also do some building of tiny houses, but then again, you're out 3 or 4 months or whatever in order to get your tiny house, which if you want something really custom that they don't have available in inventory, then of course that's something you could do as well. Just know it's going to be 3 or 4 months out before you're going to get your tiny home. So again, trying to help people with a tiny house option right now, because I know a lot of people have been waiting around and they want to wait 3 or 4 months to be able to have to sell their home, and then they're homeless for 3 or 4 months. They want to be able to have a tiny house option right now. So this is a great option for you to kind of look into. The homes are certified, they're built to a certain spec, they're safe, that kind of thing, and they look good too. So again, great place to start your search for a tiny house if you haven't got one already. Now, for those of you who have already purchased a tiny house and had it built, and it's actually waiting for a lot somewhere in some community, but you don't know the exact time frame of how long it's going to be until that home is ready or that community is ready for it, we've come up with an option for you to help out these people specifically. So, and it's a no-risk option. So again, we've got several lots available here on the property here. And I know there's a lot of you out there with your tiny home that you're basically you have a tiny home built, but you're not able to rent it because the lot for it is not quite ready. And again, I understand development, I understand there's delays and there's issues, but at the same time, you've got a home that's ready to go. So I want you to be able to experience tiny house living, be able to start living in your tiny home now, not have to wait however long it may be until your lot is ready. And then when your lot becomes available, this option will allow you to go and then take your home from our community here to your lot, and you can still stay in your tiny home and just basically hitch it up and take it out, set it up there, and there you go. So you don't have to wait and be living somewhere else, paying rent or paying your mortgage payment, whatever you're doing in your current living situation, where you've got a house over here and a house over here. Why not just go ahead and live in your tiny house now, and you can live in it here while you're waiting for your lot to become available on whatever other property that it may be waiting for. Again, here's how I'm going to explain this no-risk option. Again, if your tiny home is built and it's ready to go, and you could get it within a week's period of time, and you could have it delivered here to this property and start living here, you're still going to have to pay the key money. If it's a lake lot, $15,000. If it's I think we still have one or two of those phase 1 lots still available for $10,000. So you still have to pay that key money. But what we're going to do is that when you decide, or if you decide that you do want to move your home out, and you have that contract in place for another community, basically you can take your home and go on to that other property. And now, as long as someone is there behind you to take your lot, then they can pay that key money back to us, and then we'll basically refund you your key money, so that you can basically, all you paid essentially was your $300 per month lot rent. That key money will come back to you, okay? Now, this is only an option for limited time for those people who have a contract showing that you have an existing lot somewhere else. We're just doing this to kind of help you out in the meantime. We've got some lots available. So while we have these lots available and you've got a house available, why not connect the two together? We're going to sell out here this property. As you can probably see, the amenities and how beautiful this property is. So when over those next months or years, as this property fills out, we'll have a waiting list. And basically, when your lot becomes available somewhere else, you can let us know, and we'll go ahead and we can slot in that next person, and their $15,000 key money will go to you, and they'll move into your spot essentially. They'll pay their key money for your spot, and you'll get your money back, so you can have your key money and go back to whatever lots that you had to work with. I hope that makes sense. If not, email me. I'll walk you through this. But we're basically just trying to figure out a way, how do we help these people who have tiny homes and they can't live in them? That seems like the most preposterous thing, right? You've paid all this money, you've got this great tiny house, but you can't even see it, you can't even use it. That seems silly to me, you know, and you don't know when you're going to be able to use it either, right? And again, there's lots of delays, development is hard, but we have lots that are going to be available. So we want you to go ahead and experience tiny house living, live here, enjoy this with us. And then when your lot is ready in that other place, you just let us know. And within 30 days, we can get you all set up, get your home out of here. And then with somebody else coming in to take your spot, that key money will go right back to you. So again, it's not going to be for everybody. We're not going to make that option available. Just for those people who have a lot secured somewhere else, their home is done, and they can't get out there quite yet. For those people, we're going to make this offer available to you. I think it's the least that we can do to help people out and help them start living the tiny house lifestyle in their tiny home that's ready to go. All right, well, that about wraps it up here for today. I know it's a lot of information. It's a lot of big changes here for us, and we're still working out all the final details and things. But again, $10,000 for one of those phase 1 lots, $300 a month. $15,000 for a phase 2 lake lot, $300 per month. And for those of you, I didn't talk about this yet, for those of you who want to Airbnb your home out, whether it's just part-time or full-time, or be able to travel and come back and have an Airbnb in the meantime, we've got those lots on that south-facing part of the lake right there in phase 2, $15,000 lots, $300 a month. Those are the only lots that you'll be able to do Airbnb on. So we do still have a couple of those lots available where you can buy a home, whether it's your primary residence that you rent out while you're gone, or exclusively for an Airbnb investment. You can do that as well on those lots only. We have a few of those left available as well. $15,000. Again, if you're committed to a lot in another property, you can also take your home and put it there. So maybe you are living somewhere else right now and you just want to be earning some income off your tiny home in the meantime until your lot's ready. Bring your house here, put it on Airbnb, and so now you're making a little bit of income while you're waiting for your lot somewhere else to be developed. And your house is not just sitting somewhere in storage, but actually can be making you some money in the meantime. That's an option for you as well. So again, contact me, support@GoTinyBeFree.com. But I just want to get you this update. We're opening the property up. Freedom to choose your builder, freedom to choose your tiny house, freedom to go tiny and be free. That's what we're all about, tiny houses and freedom. So again, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. And thank you for leaving your comment down below. Are you excited about this? What are your thoughts? Let us know some different builders that you guys are looking at that you really like. I hope you enjoyed this video and seeing the progress that we're making out here, the tiny houses that are out here, the lake that's filling up, the riprap out there, the nice weather, the greening of the trees. Beautiful property. We can't wait. We hope to see you out here one day as a future resident. And if not that, then maybe as one of our guests, one of our Airbnb tiny homes that we'll have at the front of the property. It's a beautiful place. We're loving it. And we're just so excited. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your kind words and for your encouragement over the last several months or so. We are live. We've got people living here, and we're just so excited to fill this property up so you can see people smiling, walking their dogs, you know, going to the farmer's market, growing vegetables, feeding the chickens, eating the eggs, doing all this fun stuff here, swimming in the lake, fishing in the lake. It's just going to be an awesome, thriving community. Again, it's a tiny house retirement resort that we're creating here, and we're about halfway there. So come join us. GoTinyCottages.com is the website, and I'm out of things to say, so we'll see you in the next video. Stay tuned, much more to come. Watch this space. Go Tiny, be free.